We've got two Lexus hybrids battling it out in our comparison this week, the NX350 Hybrid and the RX350 Hybrid.
Welcome to the Motormouth YouTube channel. I'm Zach.
I'm Andrea.
And we do these comparisons all the time. So it'd be great if you could subscribe. It kind of helps. And also follow along on Instagram. It's Motormouth_Andrea. So a lot of people are shopping for a fuel efficient, maybe premium SUV. Which one's right for you? Let's get into it.
The NX and RX 350 hybrids have the same powertrain, a 2.5-liter four-cylinder with Lexus hybrid drive matched to an ECVT. With a combined 240 horsepower for the NX and 246 horsepower for the RX, standard all-wheel drive.
The RX Hybrid can go farther on a full tank of gas. It gets 996 kilometers or 619 miles to every fill. The NX is 911 kilometers or 566 miles.
Both the NX and RX offer a refined and comfortable drive, exactly what you would expect from Lexus. They give you that Lexus experience. They're smooth, agile, easy to maneuver in the city, and both offer a great turning radius. The cabins remain quiet during city driving, but we did find the NX does get louder under hard acceleration on the highway. The RX is definitely quieter. Both models have front windshield acoustic glass and front side acoustic glass, as well as Lexus Safety System 3.0, including blind spot monitoring and rear cross-traffic alert.
Okay, there's a few things to unbox here. First of all, in the luxury space, pure hybrids, these are the only two, because all other brands have plug-in hybrids. Now, Lexus does have a plug-in hybrid as well. And they also have a high performance model of the RX. We're not talking about that one today. And Andrea, the basis of these two hybrids, the NX and the RX, both started really in the RAV4 hybrid. It's the same. It's the same powertrain, really.
Now, how these are different compared to the RAV4 is that they have a larger electric motor, which is why they're getting more horsepower.
Yeah, so they started out as a Toyota. They make them a Lexus, a little more juice, and it is noticeable. You do notice the extra power.
Now, I do think that they both give you that nice, smooth drive, but I do find the NX to be a little bit louder, and one of the reasons is that it has run-flat tires.
It's more nimble, though. It's smaller, and it's more tossable, and I really enjoyed it. Of all the NX, the hybrid was the one I would pick personally. The RX, it's interesting. We get the high-performance hybrid next week to drive, so it'll be fun to get back in it, but I was impressed with the regular hybrid.
The NX offers 7.3 inches of ground clearance. The front signature spindle grille is more refined, and the exterior doesn't look as angular as the outgoing model. The back end has slim LED taillights and a full light bar with the Lexus script across the back. All NX models come with run-flat tires to reduce the weight of the vehicle and to save space in the cargo area. There is no longer a spare tire for the NX. The NX comes standard with 18-inch wheels, available 20-inch wheels, LED headlights, LED taillights, available triple beam headlights, and standard power folding mirrors.
The RX350 has 8.2 inches of ground clearance and offers a sleek and dynamic design with a more integrated grille and integrated headlamps. It is a low stance and standard 19-inch wheels, available 21-inch. Plus, you get a temporary spare tire. From the back, the Lexus RX inherits the signature L-shaped light bar with lenses that wrap around the sides of the body to emphasize the wider silhouette. Higher trims add triple beam headlamps and adaptive high beams. The NX and RX have a digital latch system that allows doors to open smoothly at the touch of a button when exiting or entering. Safe Exit Assist works in conjunction with E-Latch. It scans the area to let you know if, say, a cyclist, a car, or a pedestrian are coming alongside the vehicle and will prevent you from opening the door. You can override the system by pulling on a manual lever.
So the feedback that we get from you is that some aren't crazy about the look of the RX and the grille and how it's integrated. I actually like it more than the outgoing model, but that is just me. I think for the NX, Toyota tweaked it. I mean, it's an all-new model, but sometimes when I see the older model on the road, I'm like, which one is it? But obviously you know right away if it has the Lexus script on the back.
And also the light bar that goes all the way across. And the one they gave us, the 350 that we're showing you, is a bit kind of low spec one.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the bigger wheels, which would definitely make a difference. I think the thing is, whenever you see vehicles on the road, after 6 months or a year, you're like, whatever. Initially, you're like, what is that?
Yeah. The NX and RX both have a similar modern-looking interior design with a driver-focused cockpit. The center console is angled towards the driver. The seats in both are comfortable, and you'll find these vehicles great for long drives. The RX does feel a little more upscale compared to the NX. Both come standard with a 7-inch multi-information display, a 9.8-inch touchscreen, available 14-inch touchscreen. Both screens have the Lexus Interface multimedia system with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Lexus says this system is 5 times faster now. The touchscreen is simple to reach, intuitive to use, and the graphics are easy to read.
What's unique for both of these vehicles is the trackpad. Lexus has abandoned. Everything is now touchscreen. Some other standard features on the NX include a heated steering wheel, new Lux heated front seats, power front seats, and a 10-speaker Lexus audio system. There's an available 17-speaker Mark Levinson sound system. Also, other features available on higher trims include ventilated front seats, driver's seat memory, leather trim seats, heated rear seats, a moonroof, a panoramic sunroof, power rear door with kick sensor, and a panoramic rear view monitor, plus a 10-inch head-up display. The RX has a higher starting price and comes with more standard features compared to the NX, like the driver's seat memory is standard, a power rear door, ventilated front seats, and a moonroof. Available features, just like higher trims of the NX, include the power rear door with the kick sensor, a wireless charger, heated rear seats, ventilated rear seats, which the NX doesn't have, a panoramic sunroof, head-up display, and a 21-speaker Mark Levinson sound system. In the United States, the heated steering wheel is not standard on the NX or the RX Hybrids.
When I look at both of these models, I do think that the RX, although the interiors are very similar, it is slightly more upscale with the materials that are used. One thing about the NX base model of this hybrid, there is a fair amount of piano black. I think that Lexus could do a little less with the piano black on that model. I don't notice as much with the RX.
So on the side of the doors, I'm showing you the panels here, they're the shiny hard plastic. When you get the higher trim versions of the NX, it turns into a sort of a pattern. It's still the plastic. And then around the smaller screen, the nice thing is we've had a chance to drive the big 14-inch screen and the smaller standard screen, and you get a lot more of that shiny hard plastic around it. It's a trend we don't love in the auto industry. For me, Andrea, I just think both interiors are copy-paste.
Totally.
They look, it's a slight degree difference of the same thing.
And that's why when we get into the pricing, we will be curious to hear what you have to say. Is it really worth it to spend that extra money on the RX versus the NX when they are very similar? And we're going to get into space, and you're going to notice that there isn't a huge difference in passenger space between the two.
Well, also, we would love to hear from you because the RX has been Lexus bestseller, like by a long shot. But I think with this new NX, with the changes they made to it, offering many more powertrains, that in every other company, it's the smaller vehicle outsells the larger vehicle. But Lexus, it's the other way around. And I think that might change over the next few years.
And you also have to remember the RX had an available third row. Although small, it no longer has a third row, so now it's even closer to the NX.
So it is going to be replaced, though. I mean, they're not making an RXL.
No.
They're going to have an all-new vehicle. Think of the Grand Highlander from Toyota into a Lexus. I think that's what's coming.
The Lexus RX is 9 inches longer and just over 2 inches wider than the NX. But as I said, it doesn't offer a lot more passenger space. They have the same front row legroom. The RX has a little more second row legroom, just over an inch more. The RX offers more cargo space behind the second row at 29.6 cubic feet. The NX, 22.7 cubic feet. Overall cargo space is about the same in both the NX, which is 46.9 cubic feet, and the RX at 46.2 cubic feet.
Let's start with pricing of the NX. We'll start with Canada, then flip to the United States. The base model in Canada is just under $54,000, and the most expensive model is just over $69,000. In the United States, the base model is just under $44,000, and the most expensive model just over $51,000. The NX350h is rated at 5.7 liters per 100 kilometers in the city, 6.4 on the highway. That's 41 miles per gallon city, 37 miles per gallon highway. The NX is rated to tow 2,000 pounds.
Here's the pricing for the RX350 Hybrid. In Canada, it starts at just under $63,500, and the top executive trim is just under $79,000 Canadian. In the US, the base trim starts at just over $50,000, and the top luxury trim is just over $58,000 US. Here's the fuel economy: 6.3 liters per 100 kilometers in the city, 6.8 on the highway. That's 37 miles per gallon city, 34 miles per gallon highway. The RX350 Hybrid can tow more than the NX Hybrid, 3,500 pounds. Lexus offers a warranty of 4 years or 80,000 kilometers, 50,000 miles. In the U.S., complimentary maintenance is covered for 1 year or 10,000 miles.
So one thing to think about. The old RX, the one that was sold up until this year, if you wanted a hybrid, it was a V6 hybrid, okay? For this new model, they've downsized the gas engine to the 2.5 liter, as we mentioned. It's derived from the RAV4 and with a larger electric motor. So now, are you getting a less premium experience? I don't know. That's for you to decide. And that's why I think the NX, with the exact same powertrain, may be the one to get.
I know, that's what I'm thinking too. Now, this new RX is such a huge improvement from the previous model. I mean, there were times in the previous model where I didn't even really feel like the heated seats warmed up to that real hot feeling that you get in the RX now, and same with the heated steering wheel. It wasn't heated all the way through. It is now, and I think that that is also part of the luxury experience.
There is some cachet, I guess, with the RX being around for so long.
Yeah, sure.
And it is their best seller. Is it enough for people to say, oh, I drive an RX versus an NX? I don't think anybody really cares. It doesn't have the heritage, like, say, I drive a 5 Series BMW over a 3 Series.
Yeah.
I mean, it just don't have the legacy. I don't know. I just don't see it. I think the NX is going to be the best seller.
Now, I've pulled a few numbers here just to kind of go back and forth between the two and the pricing. So the top trim...
So these are Canadian dollars, right?
Yeah, just because I think if we add American dollars in here too, there's going to be way too many numbers. Zach's hair is going to pull.
Easy, I'm already losing some hair.
Anyway, the top NX Hybrid trim, which comes with all of those features that we talked about, including the 17-speaker Mark Levinson sound system, I picked the RX Ultra Luxury trim to go against that. And there's a difference between the two of $5,150. Now, the only thing with that Ultra Luxury trim of the RX is you don't get a Mark Levinson sound system. That's on the top trim. So those are kind of the differences. So you're looking at about $5,100 Canadian.
I would say that the RX maybe has a little bit more of a substantial ride.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the fact that it has real tires and not run flat tires makes it feel different than the NX. That's one thing.
I feel the same. It does feel more refined.
Yes.
But the NX
Is it
might have a sportier feel,
yes, but the
right?
NX is more nimble. So I think it comes down to, are you motivated by having, you know, the fancier RX, or are you motivated by saving money?
Okay, here's just a few more quick ones. Say you want the 14-inch touchscreen. That might be a big deal for people,
Well, I think
right?
a lot of people will probably go for that anyway.
Yeah, okay, so the RX Luxury package gets that. And the NX Ultra Premium package in Canada gets that.
So what's the difference in price?
$11,000. You'll pay extra for the RX.
That's a huge number.
Right? Panoramic view monitor. That's another one I hear a lot of people like,
that's
right?
the 360 camera, basically.
Right. So that is available on the NX Ultra Luxury in Canada and the RX Ultra Luxury.
What's the difference, Andrea?
9,900 Canadian extra for the RX.
So you're saying I get for $9,000 to $11,000 cheaper I'm getting a lot of the same features except the Mark Levinson stereo.
Well, there's a lot to go through in the specs, so it's really
Are there
about
any other,
what.
any other fun ones?
I got another one, a head-up display. Some
Okay,
people really want a head-up
could care
display.
less,
Me
yeah.
either. So it's in the top trim of the NX and the RX Ultra Luxury, which is what we talked about at the beginning of this, 5150 difference Canadian.
So you're saying for the features that people really want, it's a minimum of $5,000
Yeah, I would
up
say
to
so.
$11,000
Yeah.
difference. I'm quite happy with the NX.
That's what I'm
It's got the
thinking.
same powertrain. It's built on the same platform. The RX is slightly bigger.
Yep.
I don't like the run flat tires in the NX, but
Me either.
But living in the city, I could deal with that.
For sure.
And
then guess what? Fuel economy on the NX is better than the RX.
That's
Yes,
smaller.
you go a little bit further with a full tank of gas on the RX, and the RX can tow more if you were
Who's
towing.
towing with
but
a hybrid?
That's what
Come
I'm
on.
thinking.
All
Who's
right, I
towing?
think I'm Camp NX. I'm Camp NX.
Well, when the interiors look very similar, although I got to tell you, I do like the look of the new RX.
It does
so
look cool.
It does.
And as I mentioned earlier, we are getting the high performance hybrid, the 500H, to drive
know.
next week. So
Fun.
That should be fun. But we'll report back on that. That's a whole different kettle of fish.
It sure is.
If
And
you want to add more numbers to those.
I know that was a lot, which is why we just did Canadian numbers. So you decide what you would pick.
Clickety-clack.
RX, NX, hybrid. We'd love to hear from you. And of course, subscribe. Hit that notification bell. We put out a lot of unique content each week, and we'd love you to follow along.
And when will we see them next, Andrea?
We'll see you next time.